kind of a school voucher program. What's your position on school vouchers?
I'm opposed to school vouchers where the government takes from the people by force through taxes and then redistributes it. I do not think that is good. I do not think we should do that. I do believe that parents are ultimately, though, responsible for the education of their children. Children are not given to the state. They're given temporarily until they become adults to parents. And they should be empowered to direct the education of their children, whether it be a public school, a private school, or a home school. I do believe if a parent is doing that, the state should recognize that that is first and foremost their responsibility and issue temporarily a tax credit for that so that they are not unnecessarily burdened. And there are people that cannot do both. But I do not support a voucher system because we're going to chain those people who ultimately receive those funds. I want to give our public schools more freedom and let them compete within the system, and I do think a system of tax credits could do that. But even without that, within the public system, there can be and should be more freedom. We made some help with respect to reducing testing. We also need to give public schools the authority to set the curriculum and recognize an independent testing. You might give me a warning. I forgot to set my clock there. When you get about 10 seconds or so.
Thanks. Well, we're thankful for our public schools in rural Texas. Now, Tyler's not really rural, but we're generally a rural area. And our public schools are involved in the community. Our towns are kind of built around them. When you go to convenience stores in the big cities, you don't see, we support the Lindale Eagles, but you see that in towns like ours. And so they're woven into our fabric. We're thankful for that. Now, some parts of the state, public schools are having a tough time. And so my freshman year, when I was a brand new legislator, we had a proposal in certain inner city districts, I think it's Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, where sadly the schools were just not able to get it done for whatever reason. And there were children there who truly were trapped. Now, we're not angry at the schools about that. Let's fix those schools, but there ought to be a way in the meantime to give those children some help. And so there was a program that said if you're limited on the economic scale and you're in one of these schools that's just chronically having a tough time and not getting it done, there ought to be an option for them. And so I've supported that. That makes sense to me. As far as our part of the world, we have great schools here. We're thankful for that. And so it's an idea we should look at. I'm a big fan of Arthur Laffer. He knows his economics. We have him to thank for a lot of the ideas President Reagan put in place that lifted this country and lifted it for years, for decades. So it's something we should look at. It makes sense to me in an inner city urban setting. I don't know how it would apply in rural Texas, but it's something we should be open to.